Hey, how's it going, everyone? Ryan here. Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. Welcome back to a beautiful day here on Churro. And check it out. I have some reactions finally, so I can greet you all properly this time in the videos. It's like I was saying, everybody, hello and welcome back to Churro. I hope you all are having a wonderful day and have had a wonderful weekend or week or whenever it is that you're watching this. Thank you all so much for joining me. I already went through the morning announcements for today, and if you weren't there for the last episode, boy did so many things happen. As you can see here, I've already opened up the museum, and I did go through the dialogue for Tom Nook in the beginning where he announced that Nook's Cranny is officially open as well too. So within just 3 days of starting this island, I have the museum fully built up to go, and I have Nook's Cranny already built up and ready to go as well too. So overall progress on this island is very, very fast. In addition to that, the last time I was here, I was able to ask 3 different villagers on 3 mystery islands that I visited if they wanted to move to Churro. Now, I wasn't aware that you could do something like villager hunt this early in the beginning before you even have the houses built. But Tom Nook did go through the dialogue in the beginning, and he's going through it now, where someone is calling asking to get a house built. And so I'm very curious, although if you're watching this and know, you probably already know what's about to happen, if when I build the houses, if it's going to be the 3 villagers that I asked to move in, which if I remember correctly were Joey, oh my goodness, I remember Joey, I can't remember the rest of them. I think it was Celia, who is a bird, and I think it's Dottie, who is a rabbit. I can't remember. I know Joey for a fact, though. Wouldn't you know it, out of the blue, we have 3 interested parties. That's great. None of our applicants are too fond of the notion of sleeping in tents, you see. And so this is where I got a little bit confused on day 1 or even day 2. I thought that once I had built my home up, which is another thing too, I had already gotten to the point where I don't have a tent. I live in a house now. I thought the other ones were going to be houses too. But now that I'm thinking about it and remembering, I'm pretty sure this is the moment when I actually get houses for the starting 2 villagers that I had to, Quinn and Biff. Would you help me get these homes prepared? All 3 of them? Of course I will. See, he even says it kind of right here in the beginning. Of course I will. I do remember the building of the houses taking a little bit of time, as the stuff that you need to build them requires quite a few resources. I also forgot about let's hold a ceremony, and this is something that I realize that I've kind of been doing over the last few episodes already, and it's probably not going to get any better, is I'm very member berries with the whole thing. And if you're familiar with South Park, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, what I mean is, I know that a lot of this playthrough thus far has kind of just been like, oh my god, do you remember this? Do you remember that? But what I will say is, like, dude, this game, when you think about it, is 4 years old. It's already been through high school, basically. And it's just, it's so nostalgic. It's so reminiscent, especially for me, who hasn't really played this game seriously in like 2-ish years. And so kind of reliving everything from the beginning again, it's just, it's too nostalgic. But also, okay, so it's looking like we need to start by building a bridge across a river first, which makes sense since you need to open up more lands in order to build more homes. So it's looking like today's agenda is primarily going to be, in regards to progressing the island, building a bridge to access more of the land. Thank you for the bridge construction kit, of course. And then, of course, building the 3 houses up. Now then, this decision becomes pseudo-important, and the reason is, again, I'm doing my very best not to terraform on this island as much as possible and get the experience on this playthrough to be a little bit more in line with playthroughs of other Animal Crossing games that I've had before, such as Wild World and New Leaf, where terraforming isn't really a thing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scout out around the outside of this main portion of the island that I have access to and see. You can kind of see there are general areas where it almost looks like the game is recommending this is where you put stuff. So it's flat to flat right here, and so I'm inclined to immediately just think, okay, I can probably put one here. There's also a few flat areas like right here, and it just looks like it was built to do that. Now, terraforming, I will say, did give the greatest benefit of being able to straighten out corners like this, because I will admit that corner bridges do look very nice. Being able to diagonally traverse your island is very, very cool. And unfortunately, with the way that my island is built, there really isn't a place for me to do that. I'm just going to kind of see maybe there's a possibility, but as far as I can tell, without it being the exact same length, distance, or width rather, as well as just cut diagonally properly, there's just no way. So really the only few places I can place it are going to be... Is it even right here? Is this even a good place? No, not really. So the only places I can really place it are going up and down like this, or off to the side here. And I'm just going to take a better look at my map, and you can see this is actually the first time I'm even using the map app on my phone. I've used it a lot already, so I just need to take a look and see here. So yeah, I mean, if I place it off to the left, I get this gigantic plot of land here, which is going to be really useful for especially 3 other houses. If I build a bridge over here, that doesn't really get me anything because it's very rock, like cliffside area over here. And while this section here is very nice as well, and I can have a bridge that leads straight into the lake, I think that for the initial placement of the bridge, I'm not going to place it here because, again, I'm trying to fit 3 houses in one little location. So I think I'm going to place it here on this E3 square, and I think it's going to be not where I'm currently standing. I think I'm going to place it right over here. I haven't quite decided whether or not I like bridges to be this close to outlets. I used to have my island looking like that a lot. But I think I'm going to place my bridges a little bit more inland. And I think I'm going to place the very first bridge of Churro right here. I didn't do this for the homes, but I'm going to imagine it really quick just to get a good idea of what it's going to look like. And I mean, you know, it's a bridge that looks like 4 churros roped together. So with its current location, it seems fine to me. And I don't know if I'll ever move it. I don't know if I'll ever change it. I'd like to not move it, but we'll see. I forgot that it's this. I forgot that I have to wait for it to be built. And that's another thing too. It's like, it's been that long, folks. I haven't built bridges or built inclines in so long. I actually forgot you have to get them funded. Although this one may not need to be funded, I can't remember. Find a good place to deploy your bridge construction kit. It's ready to go. What's the next step here? Tomorrow we'll have a new bridge up and it'll be even easier to get around the island. All right, cool. Now that's out of the way, it's time to start on some homes. Okay, we can wait for bridge construction to finish if you want, or just ask me what should I do whenever. Now, even though the bridge construction is going to take until tomorrow, what I do remember is that I have a vaulting pole with me now. And so I can just go across and do the home construction without the bridge being up. So I'm just going to go and ask him now and get that started, because I'm also really excited to see the names that pop up on the homes as well, too. Please take these 3 housing kits. If I remember correctly, they are huge because you have to place all the items and stuff inside the little boundaries. 3 housing kits. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go home and I'm going to just gather up all the resources that I have. I know, and I remember that the furniture that you need requires quite a lot of stuff. Wood, stone, clay. I think it requires most of the resources that you can basically get just on your island in the beginning of the game. Let's go ahead here and just hop across the river here. And let's take a look. Lots of open space. And I don't have necessarily a good idea of where I think I want people to go. This is nothing else, a good opportunity for me to use the housing kits in order for me to get rid of a lot of the weeds that are on the ground and such here. But I also want to separate the houses enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take another good look at my map. And if anything, I may just go ahead and start plotting out. There's actually a huge, huge amount of space on this section of my island. I forget how big these islands are sometimes. So what I'm going to do, let's kind of just start down here close to the bridge that I just put up. I don't want it too close to the beach, but I also don't want it that far from the bridge. Let's just place one right around here. It's kind of in between the lake and the bridge. I'll just place plot 1 right here. Plot number 1 complete. Plot number 2, gonna place a little bit over here. I never really like putting stuff out here on this little peninsula. I always like to leave this out here for random miscellaneous items. You could also make it kind of look like a lookout going out to the beach. Sometimes they even put like a lighthouse out there because it just looks like it would be appropriate to have a lighthouse over there. This seems like a really nice spot too. It's kind of close to the cliffs. but it's also right next to a waterfall. I think I'm going to place plot 2 right here. Okay, so we just mentioned that I'm going to need a wreath made of flowers, and it looks like this is the opportunity when I'm going to get the DIY recipe for the ladder, if he hasn't sent it to me already. I'm inclined to believe, actually, that he already sent it to me, and I just didn't take a take a look. Oh, no, here it is, new. Great, so I will go ahead and just build that now. And here, folks, is one of the reasons why you want to carry around a DIY workbench with you all the time, or at least the Mario pipes, so you can easily and comfortably get to a place where you can customize and build stuff without having to travel too far. Anyway, let's get this ladder built. And last but not least, for this final house, there wasn't a lot of room in the bottom half of this part of the map. Well, actually, there is. There's quite a lot of room right here in the middle. Maybe I'll split the difference. I was going to place one of the houses up here, but given that these two homes are actually pretty far apart, I think I'll just place one just right over here. A little bit more in the middle of kind of this little section. And that will do it for, yeah, I'm not even going to imagine it. This is the spot. I'm not even worried about it. Perfect. Yeah, I got to cut down some of these trees, but, you know, it's no problem. And now that all plots have been completed, one of the more tedious parts of getting this whole process done is to now get all the items that they need. So let's check plot number 1 and see which of the materials this one needs. It's usually either wood, stone, or I can't remember the last one. Maybe it's like miscellaneous things like flowers. Let's check the exterior items. Yep, so this one's the stone one primarily. Stone stool, stone tables, and for the interior, cherry speakers, so a bunch of cherry items. Man. All right, so here's where I'm going to be doing a lot of work. I got to gather a lot of fruit. I got to gather a lot of wood and stone, apparently, to get this done. So I'm going to get to it. Well, I'm here to pick up some axes and stuff to help me get the materials that I need. Well, look what we have here. Figured I'd stop in to the inaugural opening of Nook's Cranny, and I completely forgot about Mabel showing up. Hi, Mabel. It's good to see you. I'll be seeing you around. Got some cool looking stuff here, and yeah, I'm gonna try to stop in every now and again to just pick up, you know, just stuff that interests me. I stopped doing this after a certain amount of time because eventually you just end up with so much furniture, and my priority for outside decorating became so high that I basically didn't buy any interior furniture whatsoever from Nook's Cranny. But every now and again, what I think I'll do is I'll just come in and just buy some stuff that looks nice. Right, I forgot that these you can buy any amount of times, but then this one, these ones in the back, you only get the one. And so I'll place that outside my house just to give it more of that outdoorsy, you know, kind of homey feel. The best part about upgrading the shop as well too is it looks like you have more options for DIYs. Ladder setup kit, that's going to be something that's really going to be helpful. Something that, like I've mentioned before, tons of stuff that haven't been in the game since the very beginning. This is definitely one of them. It's only 2,000 bells as well too. I mean, I've got the money for it. Oh no, that's let me update some of my stuff first. Oh right, the turnip market. Now, when this game first came out, the turnip stock market was one that was very interesting. I mean, people were advertising their islands with high turnip sell prices so you could go sell them on their island instead. And that was absolutely crazy. I know that there are probably still some folks who are looking at things like, you know, the turnip stock exchange, if that's what we were even calling it. But I don't think I'm going to really do that. While it is such a good way to make money, it also just takes up so much space because, as far as I know, turnips still can't be held in your storage, which was crazy. And I guess I kind of get it because it means you could just fill up your home with, at that point, cash. But again, it just goes into just another way for them to kind of control how the game gets played and how long you get to play it. So unfortunately, having to go outside and manually pick all your turnips that you saved that week was really tedious. And so if I ever do, like, what are the turnip prices today? It's 72 bells per turnip, and she normally sells them for 100 bells each. So this is one of those ones where it would require constant checking in on. You could even do the estimator where it shows you like what days it will be that high. You can expect me not to do any sort of turnip not manipulation, but you know what I mean, just like trying to watch the market to find a good time to sell turnips. It's just probably not going to happen on this playthrough. And that's not to say that that kind of stuff isn't like stuff that I don't want to do necessarily, but it's just there are so many things that have changed from when this game first came out, and overall the, like, I would say the economy of the game has changed so much. And in a later video, I'm definitely wanting to talk about like how I feel Animal Crossing now has changed versus when it came out 4 years ago, because when this game came out 4 years ago, we were in such a different place. The game was in such a different place. I mean, for God's sake, the game was voted Game of the Year, and I don't think that is not because of the fact that this game came out during, you know, a time when we all needed it. It came out during the pandemic, and so anything we could do to latch on to a sense of community and society, this was one of the games that helped it. And if you had told me a long time ago that I would ever see Animal Crossing in a best games category, oh man, I would have slapped you, because there's no way that would have happened. But we lived in a world where that happened. And one day, sometime soon, I want to make a video where it'll be just like this, but I'll be talking more in depth about how I feel the Animal Crossing community was, and so on and so forth. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I'm doing this all without a net as well too. I know I was just in a place where I bought some axes from Timmy and Tommy, but as wanting to get these houses built ASAP, I'm playing it a little close to the chest here, just gathering as much resources as I can. And you know what? If I get stung by a wasp, that's gonna happen. And since the museum is open, may as well start collecting some of these fossils to start getting that all worked on as well too. Yep, and there it is. I didn't think it was gonna happen that quickly, but I thought I could pull up my vaulting pole and quickly run away. But there it is. Looking at my DIYs though, I can totally just build a net right now. I should. Oh no, my pockets are always full. I hate not having the upgraded pockets. While I'm close by to Nook's Cranny, might as well buy some medicine. Oh no, again. Hold on a second. Oh, I don't think there's anything I can do here. Even though I got the net and everything, I completely forgot about it. Well, at least I know I don't have to worry about them anymore. After building this rose wreath, I do believe it looks like, yes, that is going to be it for plot number 2 as well. And would you look at that? So I spoke to Tom Nook a little bit ago because I was going in there to get something, and he did mention that once he had found a person to take over the plot of the home, it was going to have a sold sign on it. So again, the 3 villagers that I ran into yesterday were Joey, Dottie, and Celia, and plot number 1 is being taken up by Joey. So there you go. Now, I'm going to assume then that it didn't pop up while I was away. No, I'm going to assume that when I go into another building, most likely Nook's Cranny or even Resident Services tent, the next time I come out, it's going to have a sold sign on it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and complete the last one over here, go in to see Tom Nook, and then double check and make sure. But it's looking like Joey, Celia, and Dottie are going to be the moving folks for Churro. Ah, perfect. Well, as I'm finishing up the last batch of items that I need for plot number 3, I gotta say, I'm really glad that I took the time the last couple of days to just start gathering resources, because not that it would have taken me very long, but by this point, obviously with all the cuts and stuff, you haven't really seen how long this whole process has taken me. But from beginning to end of getting these plots, even the bridge and putting them all down, it took a little less than an hour in order to do this. Now, again, I'm not sure how much of that was based off of the fact that I did all of the resource gathering the past few days and I really didn't have to do much today. But even if I didn't do any today, it's nice to know that with things like the Nook Miles tickets, and of course being able to access, at this point now, every single aspect of your island, being able to get all the necessary materials in order to do this stuff on day 3 really shouldn't be that difficult. And if it is, then it's only because, you know, I don't know. I got all my resources early, but there's so many, and it seems like the game gives you so many opportunities that it just seems like I don't remember it being this easy, but I've mentioned this already before. I remember in the beginning we were all trying to do science and stuff, so everything was looked at under a microscope. But that'll do it. Wasp bite and all the home and furnishing prep work is done. Let me go talk to, well, first let me go talk to Timmy and Tommy so I can get some antidote or some medicine, and then I'm gonna go talk to Tom Nook and figure out what the next step is, which I'm pretty sure is gonna be patience. There's the first balloon popped with a slingshot as well too. That feels pretty good. Wow, 30,000 bells too is a reward. That's really good. All right, Tommy boy, we're all squared up here, houses and bridges alike. What's next? Now to hurry with the rest of the construction and welcome residents to their homes. And that's that, my friend. You have finished everything I asked of you. Let me give you a token of appreciation as promise. Some fencing. Despite basically getting confirmation that the villagers that I ran into and asked to move to Churro are already on their way here against Cecilia and Dottie, there it is. Sold sign up on plot 2, which means there's a sold sign up on plot 3 as well. Plot 2, Dottie is going to be moving in right here. And then, of course, Celia going to get the nice-ish kind of like beach house over here. And, yeah. That's it for the housing market boom of Churro currently. With 5 residents here, just 5 more to go, and still plenty more space to add on houses. I mean, there's the 6 homes, including mine, we still have up here. And if I'm going to move any home, if I'm being honest with you, I think it's going to be probably my house, honestly. It's an all right location, but we still have Mabel's store, the clothing store that we need to open up, and I would like for a majority of the retail things pretty much to be on this side of the island. I don't know, just makes it a little bit easier for me. So I think I may just move my home as kind of pretentious, ostentatious, however you feel about it, up on this little mountain right here next to this river. Might be a good spot for it. But for now, this is what Churro's looking like in its all natural beauty. And with that officially out of the way, we've come to what is basically the dailies portion of the Animal Crossing days. So it's at this point, you know, you do your classic look for your DIY bottle, which I'm going to run around and do while I talk here. Do some fishing. There's the DIY bottle, nice and easy. Right, my pockets are full. Do some fishing, catch some bugs, chop some trees, and donate all the stuff to the museum or sell things or what have you. And, you know, given that that stuff is basically stuff that I pretty much do currently off the videos, unless, you know, something interesting is going on that I want to talk about. Like I mentioned earlier, I definitely want to talk about at some point how I feel like the game has changed just from a play standpoint. Like, how I want to play this game already feels just inherently different than how I approached the game back in 2020. And so while I could be doing these chores while talking about that stuff, I'm going to save that stuff for another time. I've already kind of done a lot on my Animal Crossing New Horizons island already, and clean up some of these weeds and whatnot. But one thing I know I really want to do, and if you haven't started a new playthrough recently, or you haven't done this in a long time, I want you to please indulge me as we participate in something that I haven't participated in quite some time. It always put a big smile on my face the very first island I ever completed and wanted to build up from the ground, and that is, let's hold a ceremony. I guess I didn't really consider a long time ago how nice these ceremonies were, and you really don't feel how nice they are, because eventually you just don't have any more ceremonies. You build up all the stores, you build all your bridges and ramps and such, and eventually there's just no more ceremonies to hold. But given that this is going to be the first one, and I don't even know which one it's going to be for. I think it's going to be for either the museum or the shop, but I want to go ahead and do it because it would be the first celebration that Churro has had up until this point. We're celebrating so many different things right now. Which ceremony do you want to participate in? That's awesome. I think we'll go ahead and celebrate Nook's Cranny. Just because, I don't know, it's kind of the classic iconic store here. So let's do some fireworks and some celebratory things around Nook's Cranny today. It's also this music. this music, and it's the only time this music ever plays, it feels like. I'm pretty sure it is. And just like the prequel music, oh, it's so nostalgic to hear it again. I can't stop smiling just thinking about what this was like when we all needed it. Folks, I want to say thank you all so much for joining me here on Churro and revisiting Animal Crossing New Horizons. As I mentioned before, this game is basically a high school's career old. It's already 4 years old, and it's still just as nostalgic as it was before. Oh man, this is fantastic. I remember always taking 2 screenshots, one whenever they popped the poppers and the one right afterwards when they were clapping. And I think I'm gonna do the exact same thing here. But of course, nothing but a few words from the person who did all this. Oh, I wish it would let me say just a few words. Let's just say we're amazing. Everyone, please get ready to join me in bringing this ceremony to a close. And as we bring this ceremony to a close, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring this video to a close. I just wanted to say thank you all so much for joining me. As always, I really appreciate it. With hope for our continued growth and to celebrate Churro's beautiful Nook's Cranny. Hooray! There's number 1, and there's number 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this video so far. I hope you guys have enjoyed revisiting Animal Crossing New Horizons with me. Until next time, folks, thank you all so much. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you want more videos like this in the future. It really does help, and I appreciate it oh so much. Until next time, everybody, have a wonderful day. Thank you all once again. I'll see you next time. And just like Tom Nook is saying, thank you all. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day.